welcome back to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, I read tarot intuitively, and today we're doing another timeless pick a card reading on why do people stare at you. So we have three piles to choose from. Pile number one, we have the Cosmic Tarot. Pile number two, we have Tarot of the Divine Masculine. Pile number three, we have the Mariel Tarot. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And it would really reach people who truly need it. And if you would like to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hey, pile number one, if you chose the Cosmic Tarot, this is going to be a reading on why do people stare at you? Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, star family. Help me tap into why do people stare at pile number one. We thank you for these clear, concise, and accurate messages, Spirit. And we thank you for always guiding us, especially when we need it most. Why do people stare at pile number one? Why do people stare at pile number one? Okay, pile number one, we have the Three of Cups, Princess of Cups, Queen of Wands, Six of Swords, Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and Four of Cups. So I think you're not the usual kind to go out a lot, or even if you go out, you probably go out with your friends. You seldom perhaps go out on your own, or you may go out on your own. So it's going to be different for everyone, but people definitely stare at you because they see that you're very, very friendly. You are someone who gets along with friends very, very well. You could be a really good dancer, or you could be the creative kind over here. I'm seeing a lot of paintbrushes. So you could be an artist here of some kind. And period, point blank, I just think you're very, very conventionally attractive. I think that is the reason why people stare at you. Some of y'all might have tattoos and piercings in this pile. People also stare at you because they see that despite you being as old as you are, and I feel a lot of y'all may not even look your age, given as old as you are, you're still in touch with your inner child. You haven't let your fantastical way of dreaming sort of go. You're still very much in touch with your inner child over here, and being in touch with your inner child, you have a certain glow about you. So people definitely stare at you because of that. And I feel, like I said, I don't feel a lot of y'all go out, but when y'all do, I feel there has been certain gossip or whatever. People can tell that you have gone through a rather difficult time over here, and people can see that you have sort of come out of that very difficult time. I think people also stare at you because you're very graceful in the way you handle things, which most people aren't. You're not the kind of person who would make a ruckus or make a scene just to get some attention and validation. You don't have pick me syndrome. So people can definitely see that you're coming out of a very dark time in your life. Y'all also could be very, very witty. You could be great communicators over here. And you are the kind of person who would stand up for what they believe in, regardless of who they have to fight over here. So people can really see here that you're sort of standing up and defending your own passions over here. And people also stare at you because somewhere they just feel like you are a very reliable person, and you would not be the kind of person who would abandon ship when things get bad. So you're very patient and you have a delayed sense of gratification over here. So people really find you very, very reliable, and I feel a lot of people want to come up to you and be friends with you and talk to you, but you probably have like a resting bee face, so most people don't even bother. And I feel this pile has a lot of secret admirers who would not probably come up to you and tell you that they like you, because they just find you very, very magnetic and attractive. And I feel a lot of y'all will go through a glow up if you haven't already. And if you have already gone through a glow up, just know that your glow up is going to increase. People definitely see you as someone who's very, very intelligent. You have patience, you have all the virtues. Some of y'all could be like old money over here. That's another reason people stare at you, because they think you have a lot of money, a lot of generational wealth. I think most of the time, a lot of y'all are just I feel a lot of y'all have rich inner worlds. So you're just sort of in your own head most of the time. You're kind of oblivious when you go out. So you don't always pay attention to who's staring at you and who's not. And that also makes you very, very attractive over here. So people can definitely see that you're sort of in your own mood, in your own musings, in your own thought, in your own like vibe, And I do feel this pile has a lot of suitors over here. I feel a lot of people are very, very attracted to you just because of how you look, how you present yourself, Yeah, I said a lot of y'all are great communicators over here. But people definitely see that even if you're very cute and innocent, you're very savage when it comes to defending your territory. You're like a lioness over here, So you definitely have a ferocious side that people sort of try to speculate, but you wouldn't want to get on the bad side of. That's what I'm really getting over here. But just know that you have a lot of eyes on you, and you probably have a lot of options and a lot of suitors. And that's another reason why people stare at you, because it's like, who's going to take pile number 1 off the market here, so to speak. People who stare at you at times, they may feel that you're rather bored. You're kind of like really over it. So that's another thing people really feel, because they don't want to bother you more than like you're already bothered, People stare at you because somewhere they feel you have a very healing energy, and they just want to be around you because they feel that can sort of heal them, But people definitely see you here as very, very intelligent, and I feel a lot of people want to come here and cook your brain, but they just don't dare to, because you may come off as very intimidating to people. Yeah. But people definitely see you as someone who's very, very solid, someone who's not going to just fold like that. You definitely hold your ground down, and you believe in consistency and hard work. And people who know you definitely see this about you, and they even talk about, how hard you work over here, because you are a hard worker. And I feel a lot of y'all will have like a major glow up if that hasn't already happened. Spirit is bringing that up to me again and again. Yeah, people may find you very attractive. They may want to get drinks with you. And for my men over here, people may think that you're very, very well endowed. And the same goes for women over here. You could be very like perfectly shaped like a Coke bottle. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm getting here. So just know that you have a lot of suitors here, pile number 1. Any other messages? Shuffle some oracle. Why do people find pile number 1 attractive? One more card. Why do people find pile number 1 attractive? Okay, so we have God and Mother. The God card reads, Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within you and others. Shadow attributes, despotism and cruelty. Despotism and cruelty, sorry. Using power to control people. And we have the Mother card, which reads, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life, smothering or abandoning children, the shadow side, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So like I said, doesn't matter if you're male or a female or anything in the middle, people definitely see that you have a very healing energy about you. I feel a lot of y'all could be my channelers. You could read tarot, astrology, something along those lines. But people can really see how much in touch you are with the divine over here. And you have a very nurturing tenderness to you. And people sort of want to experience that. People definitely want to taste that. But people can definitely see that you're perhaps ending a very big chapter in your life. And people just want to be nurtured by you, because people are just sort of attracted to your natural light that you possess, which is very, very healing. You could definitely identify as an earth angel over here because we have the God card. So you could also be very, very forgiving, and you could be very, very creative. I said, right? I was getting a very creative energy before. So you are the kind of person who would be able to create just anything out of nothing. You sort of understand the laws of creativity over here very, very well. So people really admire you for that. Especially if you're in the public eye and you go out, just know that, people are very appreciative of what you do over here. Any other messages? Yeah, so that's all I have for pile number ones. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It helps the channel grow and it helps reach people who truly need it. And again, if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose Tarot of the Divine Masculine, this is going to be a reading on why do people stare at you? Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended master, star family. Help me tap into why do people stare at pile number 2. We thank you for the clear, concise, and accurate message of spirit. We thank you for always guiding us, especially when we need it the most. Help me tap into why do people stare at my pile number 2s. I'm hearing blonde all of a sudden, so maybe you could be blonde, or you're thinking about going blonde, so you should probably do it. Or maybe you recently went blonde and that's why people stare at you. Why do people stare at pile number 2? Okay, pile number 2, we have the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Lovers, 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands, the Moon, Keeper of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups in this deck, Ace of Pentacles, and 3 of Pentacles. So what I'm getting right away is you could be a great communicator, you could be in the public eye, you could be doing some kind of public speaking over here, you could be a tarot reader, astrologer, or an influencer of some kind, or you could be a lawyer, or you could be great at debates. But people stare at you because they know you're very witty and you always have good comebacks, is what I'm getting over here. So, you could be any of my Geminis, or you could have any Gemini prominent placement in your birth chart. So people definitely see that, you're quite a witty talker, and people listen to you when you talk, and I feel a lot of this staring happens when you talk. People are staring at you when you are talking, so you could have a public platform or something along those lines, but people definitely love looking at you when you're talking. But people over here really like looking at you when you are talking, so you could have a public platform here of some kind. And I feel a lot of people are losing sleep over you. It could be an ex of yours, could be an ex-friend, a frenemy, someone you have cut out from your life. But I'm not even going to pay attention on that weird energy. We have the Lovers card, so I feel a lot, I feel a lot of people are very attracted to you, and it's just the aura and the energy you have. People sort of want to take you off the market if you're single over here. People also stare at you because they know you can hold down your own in an argument. People definitely see you as someone who's very, very feisty. I'm getting Aries. You could have Aries placements, something along those lines, but you can definitely put your foot down when it comes to an argument. You're not going to budge easily. People also stare at you because they think you're very, very responsible. People think you're very, very responsible, and you're actually quite loving and kind-hearted, despite the fact that you can fight whenever the need is called for. You're not afraid of conflicts. You're not afraid of confrontation because you're only confronting someone because you yourself are based in truth. You're not afraid of confrontations because whatever you're arguing about, you're based in truth. So you could very much be standing up for your own justice or other people's justice over here. People also see you as someone who's very, very responsible. You are the kind of person who will take on other people's problems when they don't need to, when they don't have to. You have a very philanthropical vibe about you, and that is why people stare at you, because they know that if they are with you, they will be okay, they will be well. You have a very reassuring vibe over here. People also stare at you because they think you're very, very mysterious. People may not always know why you do what you do. People may not always be clear about your intentions, or people may even find you unpredictable. They may not be able to really speculate or intuit what you're going to be doing next because you're so original over here. You definitely march to the beat of your own drum, But despite this projection of masculinity and aggression, people definitely see you as someone who's very, very loving. People see that you have a very big heart, even though it may have been hurt. Your heart may have broken at times, but let me tell you, every time your heart breaks, it just expands. The quality of your heart will never be ruined. A heartbreak is just supposed to expand your heart, and people definitely see that whenever you sort of go through a heartbreak, it hasn't made you a bitter person. You're still very loving, you're still very childlike, and you still have that childlike wonder about you. So this is something people really stare at you for, because that's just the energy you give off. Like at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay, and you know that, and that just brings out a really attractive confidence about you, and people sort of want to be on your team, not on the team of your haters over here. People also stare at you because you may be very good when it comes to other people. You could be very, very collaborative. You could be someone who can work alone but also works great with other people, and I feel you are the kind of person who will bring out the good in others. You could be a natural guide. People may sort of come to you for advice. People may come to you for an opinion. People may come to you for just any sort of insight. It could even be work related over here. Even if you're not in a managerial position, people want to come to you for organization and just few things to get a perspective on a certain topic is what I'm picking up. People also stare at you because if you haven't already come into money, just know you're going to be coming into money. People can definitely see that you are someone who has created your wealth out of nothing. People also stare at you because they know what a hard worker you are. You're a heavyweight. You're definitely a heavyweight champ over here, pile number 2, and that is why people stare at you. And I think most of the time when people are staring at you, it is out of respect. People really respect you and what you do and what you have to say. So people are also almost learning from you at times, and they're not even realizing it. And I don't think even you may realize or recognize at times that you're actually being a teacher to so many people. So keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I would say try to take on less problems. Try to not get yourself wound up and involved in other people's problems. I think you need to learn to keep your peace, and I feel a lot of y'all need to sleep in this pile. I feel this is my insomniac pile. You're not sleeping well, you're not sleeping enough. Maybe it's work keeping you up, or whatever it is keeping you up, you need to go to bed on time and you have to get enough sleep. That is another message I'm really, really picking up over here. I feel a lot of y'all may have lost weight or gained weight. Just know whatever you have done, it is looking good on you, and people really admire this about you. They find you very, very attractive. That's why they could be sharing. They could be staring, sorry. They might as well, share your Instagram pictures or something if you're posting a lot. So just know that there's a buzz about you, and people really love talking about you. You're sort of like the hot topic over here. So when they see you out in public, they're like, oh, that is sort of the vibe over here, is what I'm picking up. Any other messages? Yeah, shuffle some oracle. Why do people stare at pile number 2? One more card. Why do people stare at pile number 2? One more card. We have the Vampire card and we have the Servant card. And the Vampire card reads, light attributes, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Shadow attributes, depleting others for psychic survival, chronic complaining, or codependency. So like I said earlier, there is perhaps this one hateful individual in your past picking up a very narcissistic energy who sort of wants to leech off your energy, and I think you have finally learned your lesson, and they're still sort of hovering, trying to get whatever they can, like the fucking leech that they are over here. So there's someone definitely trying to leech off your energy. There's definitely an energetic vampire in your energetic field, so be careful. And I would say the best thing to do with such a situation is to not give a damn, not give this person any sort of attention they want. They just sort of want your validation, they just want your attention, they just want to know that they can sort of come back. But the best thing you can do is be silent, because true strength is not having like a breakdown and throwing tantrums. True strength is knowing that you don't have to really indulge in other people's problems. So there is definitely someone over here who's trying to make their problem yours. They might as well be projecting. And let me tell you, when people project, they're always telling on themselves. They're taking all these negative qualities that they have about you and they're sort of throwing it onto you so they don't have to deal with it and be accountable as the bad guy that they actually are. Because they're so fucking delusional, they cannot even see themselves in the mirror and see that there is anything to be fixed when there's everything to be fixed within them. But just know that these people will get their karma regardless of what you do. So just keep being focused on you. Don't try to be upset. Even if you feel upset, just feel upset and then let it go. You're not going to let this individual drain you. And you always can do a cord cutting ritual over here. So please do a cord cutting ritual with this person. And we have the Servant card, which reads, delight in serving others with a free and a loving heart. Shadow attribute, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with your life. But I think it's the more positive one, where it says, delight in serving others with a free and a loving heart. So I said, right, like I'm picking up a very philanthropical vibe over here. So you could be a philanthropist of some kind, or you could be a light worker, or you're meant to be in a position of power where you can do good to others. So if you're not already there, just know that you're reaching there, and just start behaving and acting like you're already there. How would you live your life every day if you had all this responsibility and if you had to take care and nurture all these people? Because that is also sort of like your soul mission and soul purpose over here. It is to be of service to a lot of people and help them and guide them and show them the way, and really be a leader by just walking in your own kindness and love, not ordering people around, because you are very, very loving over here. You have a very big heart, And I feel not everyone sees this about you, you know, but people can sense that. People can sense that you're genuinely very loving and you don't have any malice in your heart over here. But people definitely, when they stare at you, they definitely think that you're very, very deep as a person. You know, they definitely feel you're very, very deep as a person. So that's something they find very attractive about you, and they would perhaps like to get to know you a little more, is what I'm getting. Any other messages? Yeah, so that's all I have for pile number 2. Is again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. It helps reach people who truly need it when the algorithm picks it up. And if you want a private reading, you can definitely do that. You can reach out for a private reading. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below if you would like a private reading. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Mariel Tarot, this is going to be a reading on why do people stare at you? Why do people stare? Why do people stare at pile number 3? Did I say pile number 1? You may want to check out pile number 1 if I said that. You may have certain messages there. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascending masters, star families. Help me tap into why do people stare at pile number 3? We thank you for these clear, concise, and accurate messages, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascending masters, star families. We thank you for always guiding us, especially when we need it the most. Why do people stare at pile number 3? Okay, pile number 3, we have the Sun card, which jumped. We have the Page of Discs, 5 of Wands, 8 of Wands, the Empress, the Fool, Judgment, 2 of Swords, and 10 of Discs. So people stare at you because you are the Sun. You know, how you can't directly stare at the Sun, but you sort of kind of want to and feel like, you know, you radiate so much loving energy, and you just shine so brightly that people cannot help but stare at pile number 3. You're very, very luminous. Yeah, you're very, very luminous is what I'm getting over here. You know, you just radiate this very high vibrational frequency that people have to turn around and stare at you. You know, people sort of want to know what you are all about. And I think what you are all about is, I think you're very much in touch with your inner child, and you still very much have retained this childlike wonder of wanting to understand why things work the way they do. You know, you sort of have this very beautiful inbuilt understanding of wanting to understand how does a wooden clock work, how can you put it together, how does it fall apart, you know. So you're very interested in, you're sort of very interested in knowing how things come together, fall apart, how do they work. You're very much interested in understanding the mechanistic aspects of things, if that makes sense, you know. So I feel you could be the kind of person who really enjoyed playing with Lego as a child. You really like to build things, and this is just something you vibrate at, you know. So this is just something you emanate from you. It just emits from you, you know. So I feel a lot of people just love being around you, you know, because all the planets love being around the sun, right? Because sun is so magnetic, and it literally gives life, right? Sun literally gives life. So you're sort of like the center of your own universe. And if you don't feel like that, you really need to start feeling like that. That is something you perhaps don't even see this about yourself, you know, but you radiate so brightly that people have to turn around and stare. And we have the Empress, which makes total sense to what I'm saying. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female or anything in the middle. You know, you have this very beautiful maternal, compassionate energy about you. You are showing up here as the empress. You're very protective. You're like a lioness. You're very ferocious when it comes to protecting your loved ones, and you sort of understand this very, very well. And people may even stare at you because they sort of want to be a part of that, of your inner circle, but I feel you're very selective about who you hang out with. I feel you have very few friends. You have very, very few friends. People also stare at you because they have seen you go through certain conflict. They may have been certain gossips about your own personal struggles, which may have been out, and people sort of talk about that. But you don't look what you went through, or what you are going through, or what you have been through. You know, you have an effortless grace about how you go about doing things. And this is why people stare, because, and I'm picking up, some people stare at you out of admiration, the others stare at you because they're sort of hoping that you would fail. But let me tell you, you're not going to fail. You're not going to fail at all. You're only going to go higher and higher from where you already are right now. You're very much on the path of ascension. So just know that the haters are just going to increase when your ascension altitude increases. People also stare at you because they know even if you're down in the dumps, you don't stay there for very, very long. And I feel you have very powerful and strong ancestors and spirit guides. And you could be a Leo, or you could have some prominent Leo placements, or you could really like lions, lionesses, tigers, big cats, felines of some kind. But you have a very, very powerful spirit guide protecting you, an ancestor protecting you at this time. So just know that the rite of passage in what you are is safe for you to progress further along. And people also stare at you because they see that you always get a new start even if something bad happens, and that sort of ties into what I was saying. You don't stay down for very, very long, and you only sort of fall down to get up stronger. So, and I think you understand this about yourself, that every time you go through something very, very fucked up, something very, very dark, you're going to come out of it stronger than you have ever been. And you're good because you are the kind of person who can just squeeze 100% of the wisdom they have to gain from a situation. You're not the kind of person who's going to repeat karmic cycles over and over again. You're not going to be the kind of person who does the same thing that they have done for 10 years. You understand what growth is, and you keep it moving, which is also very, very attractive, and why people stare at you. People can also see that you're very much in touch with the divine over here. We have the judgment card, so you could work heavily with your angels, ancestors, spirit guides. You could be a tarot reader, astrologer, healer of some kind. You work with the spiritual energies, which not most people can. And it's not just that you pay heed to the call. If you're called to do something intuitively, you will take action on it. And we also have the phoenix here on the judgment card. So people definitely see that every time you go through something messed up, you're going to come out of it born anew. You're going to be stronger than ever. You have this like very, this person is acting so brand new, like what happened to them. So people are quite wondrous as to how are you getting these intuitive nudges to do the right thing at the right time. You sort of strike the iron when the blade is hot. And that's another thing people are sort of perplexed by. They're just like, how does this person do what they do? And I just want you to know that you have a higher force within you working with you at all times. Even if you cannot see it and feel it at times, even if you feel very, very alone and very, very indecisive, just know that when it's the right time, you will take the right action and you will get the most of the given situation. Because you're very, very guided, and I feel you're destined for some greatness because we have the 10 of discs. So if you aren't already rich, if you are struggling with money, I just want you to know that keep doing what you're doing, because you're very close to inheriting your ancestral wealth. You're very much going to get everything you have always deserved and never gotten. So I don't think money is going to be a problem for you in the future. And I feel you may not even be as rich, but just the way you come off, people may think you have money, and that is why they stare. You sort of have this very regal vibe to you, which sort of speaks with this Empress energy. So I just want you to know that you are an earth angel, and you vibrate very, very high. You don't vibrate like the most people around you do. And I know that can be very, very difficult. That can put a lot of targets on your back. But I just want you to know that you're very, very protected and no one can harm you at all or ever. You know? So you have a very special path. You're meant to do what most people aren't meant to do over here. So keep shining, keep doing what you're doing. Because you're meant to be a trailblazer in this life. You're meant to have the courage here to get over anything. True courage is not your ability to not feel fear. You know, true courage is you feel the fear and you keep doing what needs to be done regardless while feeling the fear and not giving fear that actual power. You know, you tell fear to like just go sit down in one corner and cry because you're not going to let any sort of fear overpower you. You know, so you're very bold and courageous. If you don't feel like that, that is how people see you. People see you as someone who's not going to be afraid of taking charge when they need to. So you understand responsibilities very, very well. And you have this beautiful dichotomy about you, you know. You're very childlike and loving, but at the same time, when it comes to being in the world and being present, you are very professional, you know, you get things done. People know that you're very, very reliable and they can work with you. You're a joy to collaborate with. You're not an insufferable human being, you know. So you're quite adored, pile number 3. And people basically stare at you because they want to be in the cool circle. They want to be one of the very few friends that you actually have. You know, that is why people stare. You could also have a resting bee face. That's another reason why people stare at you, because they don't want to bother you, because you must just look bothered at times, even if you're not bothered. You know, even if you're just chilling, you sort of deepen your thoughts, people will look at you and be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't approach them. That's the vibe I'm getting over here. Any other messages? Shuffle some oracle. Anything I missed here? These two want to come out. So we have the goddess card and we have the blank card. So the blank card is just the blank, and the goddess card reads, light attributes, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, sensuality. Shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. So I feel a lot of people have taken advantage of your loving, kind heart before, and just know that those people are getting their karma. You may not see it, but they're going to pay in ways they cannot even afford. Your haters are going to pay in ways they cannot even afford to pay. You know, so... And I think a lot of this jealousy and hate is coming because your haters understand that they cannot be you, not at least in the given life. You know, they'll have to be reborn. They'll have to go through the cycle of rebirth and death at least a couple of times before even coming close to being who you are. So keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or anything in the middle. You know, you're showing up here as the empress and the goddess. So you are embodying the divine feminine right now. You know, even if you're a guy, you're very graceful, you're very loving, you're very compassionate, you know. So people definitely admire this about you. They definitely want to be loved by you. I think people are just dying to be loved by you here, pile number 3. So keep doing what you're doing because you're shining like the brightest sun in the sky right now. And you're meant to be a trailblazer, you're meant to be a pioneer. You're not meant to have, even if you're doing a 9 to 5, you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to have an impact on people. You know, the sun has its subjects. You know, the sun has planets, asteroids, all kinds of things, moons going around it. So if you aren't already in that important space, just know that you're working towards it and it's happening for you. So just already start behaving like you're already there. You know, because you're already vibrating at that frequency. So you have a very bright future is what I want you to know. So don't give up, even if you feel weak at times, if you feel down in the dumps. Pick yourself up, give yourself a day or two, be kind to yourself, be loving, and keep it moving because you're destined for great things. And I feel people may even see this about you, and some people may tell you this and some people may not tell you, but you know, they really feel you're destined for greatness. You're very prodigious here. And it's very interesting. We have the goddess card and we have the blank card. So I feel you are an earth angel. God has put you in people's life. So you would be a mirror to them and help them see the parts of themselves that they need to heal. And people who do not wish to heal these parts of themselves, they will project that onto you. So people may say that, you know, you're a cheater, you're a liar, you're manipulative. that's everything that they are. You know, some picking up some narcissistic energy. Someone you have left off in the past could be an ex-lover, ex-friend, ex-company, ex-boss, whoever this is. You know, they're just very jealous and they just cannot stomach. These people cannot stomach you shining so brightly and so beautifully. You know, so keep doing what you're doing because you're quite literally trailblazing over here, and we need more people who are so loving and in their feminine energy, guiding and leading the way. You know, and I just want you to know that good money is coming, and you won't ever have to stress about money in your future. So if you're worried about money right now, if you're worried about getting things done, just know that God is with you, whether you believe in God or not. The universe is with you. You won't have to starve. You won't have to starve forever, ever again. You know, so you have a beautiful new start coming in, and you're transforming right now. So be very gentle with yourself. You know, give yourself that love and compassion that you give other people so freely without even them asking for it. So, and if it's very difficult for you to give that to yourself, you need to see why is it so difficult to give it to yourself, and you need to start giving it to yourself first, because you are a healer. You're meant to heal other people, and that is why you have certain diseases, mental, emotional, spiritual, that you yourself have to heal from. And you need to understand, if you're a healer, you will not heal completely till you heal other people, right? So you really need to give yourself that same kind of love, and hold that same kind of space for yourself the way you do for other people. That's going to be a very, very major lesson for you in this life, being as compassionate as you are. And it will be a great lesson, and it's going to be a very big part of what you're meant to do in your destiny over here. Yeah, so that's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It helps the channel grow. It helps people who really need the reading to reach them. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below, so you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Thank you.